And pushing it up. Here's Los Angeles. Ball with the ball. And stolen by Kyle Lowry. And then Johnson with the dunk.
Well, this is how you completely rattle an opponent's rhythm.
Yeah, you know, such terrific on-the-ball defense to trigger the transition opportunity.
And it wasn't just the tough D, it was the exclamation point they put on the fast break with the slam.
Well, Jamal Crawford has proven that no matter what role he plays, just call him buckets. He can flat out put the ball in the basket. You got to give him a lot of credit, though. He does change his game quite a bit depending on if he's coming off the bench or starting. I think that speaks to his IQ.
Dives for it. And that's out of bounds. Toronto will retain possession. Some changes for Toronto. Patterson, he's checked in for Johnson. Ross comes in for Johnson. And it's Williams in for Kyle Lowry. Big group substitution here for the Clippers. Spencer Hawes is checked in for DeAndre Jordan. Davis comes in for Matt Barnes. Hedo Turkoglu's checked in for Jamal Crawford. And it's Rivers in for J.J. Redick. Clock at 4. Here's Ross. The wide open look here for DeRozan. Here's Davis. Foul call that time. Way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Glenn Davis suffered that broken bone to his foot towards the end of the 2013 season, and that motivated him to slim down. He got down to the lightest weight he'd been since 8th grade, believe it or not, and still one of the strongest players in the league.
And the Raptors making a change here. Hansbrough's checked in. Here's Rivers. Rebound by Williams. Raptors leading by 5. Outside DeRozan. Puts up a 3. Williams' shot is off. The Clippers have gotten just 3 of their first 9 shots to go down in this game. Paul kicks to Turkoglu. And the Clippers miss again.
You know, he's so confident, sometimes to a fault, and that showed right there. That's a bad shot.
Exactly. I mean, that's self-inflicted damage right there. They're a lot better off.
And so the first quarter is in the books. It's the Raptors leading by 5. And we'll be back in just a moment with the start of the second quarter. All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And we'll get a look at how the hustle stat game has been going for Toronto.
Boy, their frenetic defense has really been impressive, putting a lot of pressure on ball handlers and turning them over.
The other thing that's helped them early tonight are the points they've been able to convert off turnovers.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor. All fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. Setting the floor for the Raptors. They've got Terrence Ross. Vasquez out there with Lou Williams. Then there's Patrick Patterson. And it's Hansbrough in at the 5. Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris.
Yes, Kevin, Chris Paul, as you know, has accomplished so much in the NBA, but he's ready for that ultimate prize. As Paul said, that's the only thing that matters now. At this point in my career, I'm only focused on building for the postseason, because that's where you make your name, and that's where you make your imprint on history. He's looking to add to that wonderful legacy, guys.
He certainly is. Thanks, Doris.
Well, you can see that desire on the court. He's so focused.
The shot by Paul, no good.
Good, tough defense there, getting a hand up, forcing that miss.
Well, he's got the reputation of being a tough defender, and there was an example right there for him.
Jonas Valanciunas, he's checked in for Tyler Hansbrough. Into Johnson. And stolen by Jordan. Paul with the ball. And it's Johnson picking him up. Crawford kicks to Paul. And he overshot that one, missing.
And it is very dangerous to leave him open like that. Lucky break for the defense that he missed it.
Lowry against Robinson. Lowry passes to Johnson. And Chris Paul picks up the foul. That's foul number 2 for him.
Boy, with 2 fouls now, he really has to be disciplined and under control for the rest of this half.
And the shot is good from Johnson.
Boy, Vasquez, man, what an example of tremendous passing skill.
So timeout called here, the first for Los Angeles. They're moving on after the tough loss they took at the hands of the Warriors.
And guys, they were really plagued by foul trouble in that one. Forced them into some makeshift lineups late in the game.
And Steve, the frustrating part for me in that situation is you can defend without fouling. Just move your feet and don't use your hands.
You know, James Johnson really seemed to solidify his place in the league with his play last year. You can tell he's slimmed down and he's never looked more athletic.
Robinson misses. Raptors leading by 6. Lowry kicks to Vasquez. Jacks up a 3. Johnson inside. Davis is on it. Will not go. This is off the front iron. And Johnson in great shape, able to play that hustle role.
And he's one bad man, Kevin. He comes from a martial arts family now. James, his parents, and his siblings all are black belts. Don't mess with those folks, man. Do not mess with them.
Shooting for Toronto, Grievous Vasquez.
Grievous Vasquez, a 6'6" point guard out of Venezuela by way of the University of Maryland, is really a good passer and playmaker. Plays with a swagger and moxie that you love to see. You know, a couple seasons back, this guy averaged 9 assists a game.
Catching up on the changes for the Clippers. Matt Barnes is checked in for Davis. Reddick comes in for Nate Robinson. And it's Rivers in for Paul.
7 seconds.
Just 5 on the clock. Here's Crawford. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. And Vasquez with great size, Steve, for the point guard position.
Not an elite athlete, so he sometimes lacks the quickness to guard opposing point guards, but his height, his strength, and his grit and anticipation makes him really a viable option against a lot of different matchups in the league.
Lowry drives in. Here's Johnson. And count the basket. He was fouled, and he's going to the line for one more.
Outstanding job there to absorb the contact and guide it in.
That's how you impose your will against the defender. He came to play.
Spencer Hawes is checked in for Los Angeles.
Well, you look at Amir Johnson's offensive game, certainly a fit for today's NBA. Not really a huge post-up game repertoire, but he gets off the floor, runs the court, finishes around the rim, and he's able to spread the floor because he's a good jump shooter.
Well, for Amir Johnson, showing range out beyond the arc over the last couple of seasons, and we may see more of that as his career progresses.
So timeout called here, the first for Toronto. Clark, Amir Johnson, an athletic dunker, but not a heat seeker, not one to draw contact and get to the foul line.
No, if anything, he's more foul prone himself, Kevin. I mean, if he can flip that around, get that switch, I think that would be a huge step in progress for him.
DeMar DeRozan, he's checked in for Toronto. And then for the Clippers, Davis comes in for Spencer Hawes. And Paul subbed in for Rivers.
You know, they've changed their game here in the second, getting a little bit more physical, playing with some toughness now.
You know, this lead is going to grow if they can continue to get to the free throw line.
At the line for two.
Amir Johnson is one of the longest tenured Toronto Raptors in his 6th season with the team now. And with the departures of Bargnani and Ed Davis, he's assumed the starting role, and I think he's responded quite well to it.
Paul goes in from 8. Oh, and that one had the right spin on it, and it is good.
Boy, I'm surprised he took that shot. He was at a huge size disadvantage in that matchup, but boy, great job to bury it.
Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Thank you, Kevin. Doc Rivers trying to help this Clippers team to the mountaintop. And Chris Paul said, "I've never had a coach that wants to win as bad as I do," until Rivers. Rivers said, "I'm just here to try to win. I always tell our players there's no guarantee to it. You have to be willing to get your heart broken." Gentlemen.
He's getting him to lay it all on the line. Doris, thank you.
Boy, the kind of moments you love to see. Excellent defense leading to a dunk at the other end.
Clark, you got to marvel at the transition game when they've got it clicking. It's really explosive.
High octane for sure.
Oof. Yeah, turning defensive pressure into offensive opportunities. That's what it's all about.
A new group in now for the Raptors. Hansbrough's checked in for Jonas Valanciunas. Patterson comes in for Johnson. Terrence Ross is checked in for James Johnson. And Lewis Williams subbed in for Kyle Lowry. And the Clippers making a change here as well. Crawford's checked in. Raptors leading by 10. And DeRozan throws it down.
With that reverse jam, the fans got a little extra show there.
That one definitely had something, you're right, extra on it.
That was one of those 3 or 4 plays that you see every night in an NBA game that just leaves you in awe.
Williams with a clean look. And the Raptors hit again from deep.
It seems that every pass they make is leading to a score here. I mean, that's just exquisite ball movement.
Yeah, they're making the right play, they're working together, and they're just looking for the best shot they can every possession.
6-second difference between the shot and game clock.
Their offense seems completely out of sync here. They're on the long end of a big run.
And then at the other end, it's been bucket after bucket after bucket, giving up a huge run here.
Here's Paul. 14 points from him the last game against the Warriors in Oakland. And out of bounds as the Clippers gain possession.
You always want a player to have his head up and to be surveying the court, but not if that's going to be the result.
A dominating first half of basketball, and so far hasn't been close. The Raptors out in front. They finish off the second quarter with an energy burst, a 19-5 run. We'll be back shortly live from the Air Canada Centre in downtown Toronto. And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, you know, anything can happen.
Talk about a terrific game for Johnson. He's got 11 points, and he's also got 1 block to add to the mix today.
Yeah, it's just a small part of what's been a solid overall contribution by him defensively.
So for the Clippers right now, CP3 at point with Redick there in the backcourt. Crawford out there with Barnes. And it's Jordan in the pivot spot, manning the middle. And the first one at the line is good.
Valanciunas, a young big man with some offensive promise. He can score on the left block. He's developing a nice touch from mid-range. Very intriguing player with that size and skill set.
On the wing, Johnson. They get the rebound. Johnson dishes to Valanciunas. Lowry kicks to Johnson. Three-pointer. That falls. Nice feed that time from Kyle Lowry. Lowry's got 4 assists now tonight. Valanciunas, a mobile 7-footer with good hands. It's a nice start.
It's always a great place to start when you're a big guy. Can you catch it? And not only good passes, but can you catch bad ones and finish around the rim? He can do all of that.
Johnson, the pass to Lowry. And the Raptors hit again from deep.
Those are starting to add up. Of their last 5 baskets, 3 of them have been three-pointers.